In fact, we want you to be more perfect in learning journalizing of complex transactions. So that's why we are having one more practice for journalizing complex transactions. I trust you are enjoying. You have started enjoying bookkeeping now. Let's see. In this practice, we are having a machinery purchased from Jordan on credit. Okay. So it's easy now. Machinery is an asset being debit group. Asset is increasing, therefore should be debited with 40,000. Well, and by the way, I have given you a tip. If you are confident on one effect, the second effect should be straightforward, which is creditor to be credited. But okay, let's make its logic as well, that creditor is a liability which is of credit nature. Liability is increasing, therefore should be credited. Well, machinery lost in fire accident. So a part of machine which is of 20,000 has been lost by fire. So loss by fire is a loss which is in fact our expense. Main head is expense, nature is debit, and our expenses are increasing. Losses are increasing means our expenses are increasing, therefore should be debited. And machinery, which was our asset, debit group, yes, there is a decrease in our machine because the machine has been lost, should be credited. Okay. Then cash withdrawal from bank 5,000 for office use. Okay. We are withdrawing cash from bank. It is reducing our bank asset. Well, it is reducing our bank asset. Bank has debit nature. Bank has debit nature, that is reduced, therefore should be credited. And since we are withdrawing cash from bank for office use, cash is an asset and we know that its nature is debit, and this cash is increasing our assets, therefore should be debited. Mostly people get confused over here with the word of withdrawal. See, it is just an English word. It is not a terminology. Drawing is a terminology. Here we are saying cash withdrawal from bank for office use. It is not to be taken as drawing, please remember. Okay? It is just a withdrawal of cash from bank for office use. So straightforward, we are receiving cash in office, so it will increase our cash asset. Cash stolen from business. Now cash is lost. So cash, which is our asset of debit nature, there is decrease in that cash asset, should be credited, and it's a loss. We know very well that loss is an expense, debit nature, and expense is increasing. Since expense is increasing, therefore should be debited. Okay. Next comes owner sold his saving bond for value of 30,000 and invested that money in the business. What is the concept? The concept is there is an investment in the business by the owner. Whenever there is an investment by the owner in the business, it gives us an accounting head which is known as capital. And capital is an accounting head of owner's equity. Nature of owner's equity is credit. And there is an increase in owner's equity because of this transaction, therefore should be credited. And we in the business are receiving cash, which is our asset. So cash asset, debit nature, is increasing, therefore should be debited. Look, we are accountant of the business. We have no concern that what is the story behind this investment. Either the owner has sold his savings or his car or his house, or he had surplus cash funds with him. We are having no concern with that thing. We just have to look into this transaction from the point of view of the business entity. That in the business entity, we are receiving cash invested by the owner as capital. So this is a simple transaction. Then profit earned on bank deposit. On bank deposit, whenever we earn profit on bank deposit, bank balance increases. Bank is our asset, which is of debit nature, increasing, should be debited. And profit is our income. Income is of credit nature, it is also increasing, should be credited. Profit is our income, okay? We are enjoying a profit on bank balance. Well, received commission from a client. Received. When we receive, there is cash. And we are receiving commission. Okay, these are the two accounting heads. We received cash. Cash is an asset. Asset is of debit nature, increasing, should be debited. Commission is an income of credit nature, increasing, should be credited. Well, next thing is rent paid to Jamal by check. We are paying rent to Jamal. The thing is that rent is our expense, it's an accounting head, and we are making payment by check. Whenever we pay by check, it is bank account that we have to debit or credit. Like if we are receiving check, bank would be debited. If we are paying by check, bank would be credited. In this transaction, we are making payment of rental by a check. So rent is an expense. Expense is of debit nature, which is increasing, should be debited. Bank is an asset of debit nature. Because of this transaction, there is a decrease in bank balance, which will be credited because we are paying by check, and this will reduce our bank balance. Just consider its concept. Okay. One very important thing that we should keep in our mind, that when we are paying to Jamal, it is an expense. It is an expense that we are paying to Jamal. So use rent expense as an accounting head. Jamal is not an accounting head. We will not use Jamal as an accounting head. Okay. Well, so over here, important tip to remember, the ITTR, very special ITTR over here is that while we are analyzing expenses or income for debit or credit, never use personal account. Please remember. Like the name of the person to whom we are paying or from whom we are receiving. We will use always nominal account as debit and credit. Remember, nominal account is expense head or income head. Okay? So remember this thing. Well, for example, we are paying salaries to John, Steve, and Zara. Here personal accounts are the names. These shall not be debited. Rather, salary as an expense account should be debited. Okay. In the same way, we are receiving commission from David, Nasser, and Rajab. Here personal accounts are these names. We will not give credit to these personal accounts. Rather, commission as an income should be credited over here. Few more ITTRs, because this is very important topic. So, more ITTRs required here. Yes, any event of loss that belongs to the main head, expense, ITTR. Important tips to remember. And then, profit and gains. These belong to the main head, income. Then, consider the difference between withdrawals for personal use and withdrawals for office use. Withdrawal for personal use are drawing, because the owner is withdrawing or trying resources of the organization for his personal use. These are termed as drawing. Those belong to the main head, owner's equity. But when we are withdrawing cash for office use, then cash account would be the accounting head for treatment as debit. And then, whenever we are dealing in check, the accounting head, bank account, would be used. Thank you.